Pinkie Pie shifted in her sleep, outstretching her hoof on the instinct to make sure the blue Pegasus was still asleep at her side. When it found nothing but air, it was enough of a shock to jolt the party pony awake. She sat up and panicked for a moment at Rainbow's absence, but relaxed when she saw a faint lightning coming from beneath the door. The clock on the wall indicated that it was 4 a.m, and well before time Dashie would have been awake, especially considering the fact that she's never much of a morning pony. With a yawn, Pinkie lazily dragged her hooves out from under the warm blanket cocoon into the cold wooden floor. She blew a straightened piece of mane from her eyes as she sluggishly descended the steps towards the door. She had put her hoof on the doorknob and sucked in a breath, moments before softly calling out Rainbow's name, when she heard a mare friend's unmistakable panic. "Shit, shit, shit!" Pinkie's ears perked up as she briskly turned the handle and trotted down the hallway, past the rooms of Mr. and Mrs. Cake and their twins, attempting to stay quiet while an uncertain state of panic was difficult for Pinkie. But she knew better than to make a scene at the hour. The closer she got to Sugar Cube Corner's kitchen and shop, the more she could smell the unmistakable scent of burnt pastries. She rounded the final corner and gently pushed open the doors to find Dash, who was a heap of frustration on the floor. "Rainbow?" Rainbow's ears were at once flat, shot up when she swirled around, and her face a confusing-looking Pinkie Pie. On the other occasion, Pinkie might have chuckled and seen the Pegasus who looked so panicked and out of sorts. Rainbow was haphazardly wearing Pinkie's apron, which did a little to shield rest from her miscellaneous confections ingredients of what appeared to be chunks of smashed fruit. The tips of her hooves looked a little bit seared as they clutched a strange burnt lump of whatever disaster she had been attempting to make. Dash quickly moved to upside-down pie tin on the floor with the remainder of the burnt mush. "Pinkie, what are you doing up?" Dash reprimanded, her expression tearing down between firm and panicked. "I was going to ask you the same thing," Pinkie said, approaching Rainbow and inspecting the burnt ends of her hooves. "Why did you try and make something out or take something out of the oven without gloves on again?" she asked in exasperation. "I forgot. I was trying to see if I could make this other one work, just in case, and I'll clean it in a jiff. Go back to bed." Rainbow replied. Her words came out rapid and jumbled, as it took Pinkie for a moment to fully understand everything she had just said. It was then that Pinkie noticed dark circles under Dash's eyes and slight tremor to her movements. "You didn't sleep?" Pinkie asked, her tone hushed as, "Is it my fault?" No, you didn't do anything wrong. I tried to, but I just couldn't. I stayed with you for a while, cried yourself to sleep, and I couldn't do anything. So I thought that would Pinkie to do cheer me up. If I needed it, well..." Dash extended out her hoof to show the carnage of once the kitchen. Dash had single-hoofly managed to discriminate it that one night. Feared that feat that Pinkie couldn't claim. Pinkie wasn't even sure of what she was looking at. There were so many different cookbooks, ingredients, and half-made mushy experiments to know what was there she was attempting the first plate. Turns out baking pies was a lot harder than I thought, as if I needed another reason to hate them, Dash grumbled, then saw Pinkie's forlorn expression and quickly amended. "Not your pies are bad. In fact, now that I know how hard they are to make, I might make them a little bit less likely to give yours away." She added with a soft chuckle. "I don't make pies anymore, Dash," Pinkie said, walking to the broom to the closet to fetch some cleaning supplies. The lack of any emotion in her response pierced Dash harder than she expected. She watched her helplessly, straight out of Maine, mare friend, started to clean up the mess, without so much as a pun or a jab at their baking attempt, or even a smile. "Pinkie, stop, I'll do that," Dash said, taking the mop from Pinkie's hoof in a flash. "I don't mind, Dashie," Pinkie said, to which Dash smiled at the very least. She was calling her Dashie again before Pinkie could take another step. Dash swept her off her hooves and planted her at the kitchen counter, in a streak of rainbow. The kitchen was swept, mopped, and rubbed down onto glistening perfection. A single cupcake also appeared in front of Pinkie as Dash settled on the stool before her, looking more disheveled than before. I could clean up pretty fast when I put my mind to it. Don't tell that to Twilight or Applejack, though. It drives them insane seeing how long I take to clean up my house, Rainbow said, with another encouraging chuckle. Pinkie didn't respond. Her face was resting on the counter as she looked blankly at the cupcake in front of her. Dash's cheerful demeanor melted again as she scooted closer, putting her hooves around her and holding her tightly. "What can I do? Just tell me what to do and I'll do it," Rainbow whispered in her ear, choking back the emotion threatening to pour over. Pinkie sighed and resigned herself to Dash's hug, burying her face in Rainbow's chest full and letting out a silent sob. Rainbow just held her, stroking her mane and wishing that there was more she could say or do. After a few minutes, Pinkie wiped the excess tears from her eyes and looked back at Rainbow's worried expression. "Well, what pie were you trying to make? Maybe I can help you," Pinkie said purposely, changing the subject. Well, I know I have a lot of different varieties, so I was trying to figure out my way of making half chocolate, half strawberry pie. I thought I'd try half apple, half peach, but that one just fused into mush." "Why halves?" Pinkie asked, confused. "Well, when I found out yesterday that you have a bipolar disorder, I thought I'd make you a bipolar dessert, because you love pies and puns so much," Dash answered meekly. Pinkie then stared at Dash indifferently at the moment, before a smile broke out through her face. Slowly the tips of her mane and tail recoiled back to their usual curl as Pinkie let out a laugh. She laughed so hard, so long, that Dash couldn't help but laugh along with her. When they could finally catch their breath, Pinkie surprised Dash with another strong hug. "What would I do without you, Dashy?" she whispered greatly to her. Rainbow then puffed up her chest a little, but deflated again when Pinkie's downcast look. "This isn't a bad thing, Pinks," Dashy said in a whisper, lifting Pinkie's chin so she could meet her gaze. "Now that they know what it is, they can help you." Pinkie's lip quivered into the thoughts that she'd been keeping at bay burst forth than a broken dam. "But this means I'm broken, Dashy. I'm broken and there's no cure. I have to live this way forever. Not only that, you have to live with me this way forever too, constantly looking for ups and downs and navigate my..." Dashy put her hoof on Pinkie's mouth to stop her spiral. "Pinkie, I know exactly what I was getting into. Life with you is never a dull moment. And that's one of the things I love about you. I love the fact that you're unpredictable, and that you feel things more intensively than through any pony else. And that this will change the ability for you to understand yourself. Be able to mitigate to those lows, they aren't that bad. But then they are highs and won't be high. But what if these meds makes me so numb and I walk around without any kind of emotion at all? Like mud? What do you mean? Never mind, Pinkie. Nothing in this world can take your high energy and happiness from you. Not a silly little pill, not me, not even you. But maybe this will prevent you from going on a sugar benders so crazy that you end up in Las Vegas, wearing Applejack's hat backwards, with Verity's new severed tail in your mouth, and no memory of what happened." Yeah, that was a bit alarming. "You think?" Dash then asked with a laugh, tackling her mare friend to the ground and started kissing her repeatedly, all over her face, and Pinkie snorted and giggled, trying so hard not to fend off Dashy's kisses. This time Pinkie was also who waited until Dash was distracted to connect her lips into a kiss. The pair then melted into a moment, revealing how perfectly imperfect it was. "Besides, you got me. I'll always be here for you to regain you back, or to encourage you to go further, depending on how the circumstance," Dash said, climbing off of Pinkie, trying to vein the dust some off the flower splotches from her coat. Pinkie then bounced up from the floor and wrapped her hooves around Dash, burying her face in her mane. "Ditto," Pinkie whispered, with tears of joy streaking her cheeks. Pinkie knew that her life would be forever changed, but as long as she had her Dashie, she could face it, whatever she had to throw at her. Now, what was that about mud?